I don't know if you've ever been anywhere where you thought that death may be the very next thing that happened in your life. On a couple of occasions in my life, I have been in that place. It's not a comfortable place. It can be a very fear-inspiring place if you're not careful. It seems like that you can't stop this ball from rolling. It seems like that you can't change the course of what's going on and taking place. All of us need to realize something, that we all come to places in our life where we all of a sudden understand that I can't change what's going on. What worked in the past doesn't seem to be working in the present. Everything in my power, all of my abilities, I have exhausted, and nothing is changing, and I don't see anything changing in the future. Most of us are people who feel like that when something happens, we can fix it. I can fix it somehow. But if you haven't, you will. You will come to a place at your life at some point, in some event, where you all of a sudden realize, I've done everything that I can do, and there's nothing else that I can do. Those places are painful. Sometimes they cause us to question who we are. Am I really a child of God? It can also bring you to a point that you wonder about God. I would think that God would show up and help me here, but He seems nowhere to be found. That's where Paul was. He had come to the point where he just felt like, I'm going to die. Sometimes the trial of our faith is not enjoyable. Sometimes the trial of our faith can put us in a place where we begin to feel desperate about the outcome of our circumstances. But the Lord knew what He was talking about, and Paul knew what he was writing about when they referred to the trial of our faith being more precious than gold that perishes. And Paul said, when I realized that it looked like we were going to die, I decided at that point, if I'm going to die, then I'm going to put everything into the hands of the one who can raise me from the dead. I'm just going to put it all in God's hands. Everything. He said, I put everything in God's hands. Everything means everything. We just give God our problems. I got this problem, God. I'm going to pray and I'm going to give it to you. But Paul did something and said something when he said everything. And if you read it closely, he was not just giving his problems. He was not just turning over people who were treating him badly to God. He was giving God his life. He was saying, God, I put my life in your hands. There are lots of people who have problems and difficulties that they pray about, and they wonder why things never change. He said it's because they've not put their life in my hands. But I can tell you that it's not always easy to turn over who we are to somebody else. If you want things to change in your life, you've got to give God all of your life. If you want to be blessed, if you want to have God present in the midst of your crises and difficulties that come your way, you have to give Him your life. That if you'll give Him your life and put it in His hands, He's more than able to change what's going on.